welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna keep working on the engine block and I'm gonna try and get it ready for paint. Hopefully it turns out good. Let me show you guys how the engine looks. I don't think I showed it to you guys completely dry. Check it out. It's completely dry, no more water on it. It's probably still a little dusty, but it doesn't matter because I'm gonna scuff up the entire engine. I've seen people just spray primer right on top of this and it does fine, but I'm gonna just try and scuff it up a bit. I wanna make sure that the paint lasts on it. There's no point in spraying it if it's gonna come off in like a month or two. So that's what I'm gonna get started on today. I think this is basically all I'm gonna need today. I have the primer and shit as well, but I don't have it with me right now. I'm gonna just use a bunch of Scotch-Brite pads. This tape is for when I'm ready for primer. And I just have a bunch of brake clean. I'm gonna use the brake clean and some shop rags after I scuff it up to clean it up, and then once it's clean with the brake clean, it should be ready for the primer. Simple as that. I'm basically like almost finished. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm literally gonna strip it to the bare block. I even want to take off the timing cover, but I'm not sure how hard it's gonna be to take it off. I mean, it's just a bunch of like 8 mils it looks, and then the timing cover comes off. So I don't know if I'm gonna take it off because the engine's gonna be open. I'm gonna scuff it up, and if I see I have enough time to lay primer today, I'm gonna try and take off that timing cover, but I don't know, I'll see later. But I have to strip this as much as possible just so I can start sanding the pure block. I'm not gonna show much of it because it's gonna be pretty quick. I'm gonna just time lapse everything. I just gotta take off some shit right here, this hose, whatever this is right here. Looks like it's something for the oil. Take it off, and then take off this wire. Take off this little thing right here. I might paint that as well with it. Fuck it, might as well. Everything on this side's completely ready basically. I'll check back in a bit. Little update. I took off the valve cover because what I'm gonna do right now is I was gonna take off the head and the timing cover to leave the bare block. But when I removed the valve cover, I discovered something pretty bad. I'm sure you guys can already see right here, but I knew I should have left the valve cover on it. I'm fucking stupid, but somehow water got into the actual head of it. Cause you see right there, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's wet in there. And when I touch it, it's water. I washed off all the oil on the chain, everything. So like you can see on the cams, there's a little bit of like water oil mixture. Oil and water don't mix, so that's not a good thing. So what I think that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just rebuild the whole, not rebuild, but just disassemble the entire head and clean it off, dry it off, and then put it back together. That's the only thing I could think of, because I don't think that all that water and oil is gonna dry off with compressor, because there's a lot of oil mixed in it, so it's not gonna like dry off good. Now you can see on this bolt, that's how oil and water look like when they're like mixed up, and that shit will fuck up your car. So yeah, there's that. I gotta deal with that. I could have swore I sealed it up good enough, but I guess the water was able to seep through here and it just fell inside and just fell. Yeah, that had to be it. The water must have gotten in from the sides. I should have put the valve cover on. That's my dumbass fault. But yeah, now I gotta deal with that. But what I'm gonna do right now, since I already had to reassemble the head, I'm gonna just take off this front timing cover. And then I think taking off this front timing cover and a few bolts, I think the head should just like literally lift up. So I'm not sure how to remove the head. I'll figure it out though. But yeah, I'm gonna remove the timing cover, then remove the head. I need this bare block completely stripped. And I'm gonna just give it a light scuffing, clean it up, and then spray it down with some primer. I'm gonna try and get a new timing cover so I don't have to repaint this one. But if I have to repaint it, I'll repaint it. So yeah, let me get started on that and I'll check back in once I have an update. Yeah, I fucked up big time. I didn't even notice this, but you can see literally on the camshaft there's some rust. Like that shit was not there before. I guess it's because this is just bare steel. It doesn't rust because it usually has oil in there, but since I introduced water into the head, yeah, so I'm gonna, hopefully that all cleans up good, but I'm gonna try and take off the head and leave the bare block right now. Little update. I think I have all like the timing cover bolts out. So there's literally no bolts holding this in. I like triple checked it, double checked it. I'm pretty sure there's nothing that's holding it in. But I can't get this stupid ass timing cover off, bro. I have a flathead and I'm like trying to pry it. The only spot I could find was right there. I don't know if you guys can see, but I tried prying right there, but I chipped a little piece of the head. And then the only other spot I could see is right here. That little edge right there. And then hit this side with the hammer. If I don't have a big enough hammer, you guys saw last video I had that tiny ass hammer, that's not gonna do anything. The last owner put a gang of sealer on this, that's why. That shit didn't even need no bolts, to be honest. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna keep trying to fuck with it. If I get too frustrated, I'll just carry on with it tomorrow, but I wanna try and get it off today. Alright, I finally got the top portion off. I'm a fucking dumbass. This bolt was still connected. It was just in plain sight and I didn't see it. So that one bolt came off and I just gave it a couple hits from back here and the whole thing popped off. So that top half is done. And now I'm prying the bottom half of the timing cover and it wants to almost come off. But this bead of gasket maker right here in the front does not let it move, bro. And I need to get it past this little guide pin that's right here. So I can't take it out like that. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go get my impact just so I don't have to use a ratchet. And then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna drop this oil pan. Once I drop the oil pan, I should be able to get this off either way and it'll literally leave just the bare block after I take off the head as well. So yeah, let me take off the oil pan. Big update, check it out. All right, so I got the oil pan dropped. I have some really bad news for me, not for you guys of course, but all right, so I dropped the oil pan, right? It's over there. When I took it off, I heard some clinking in there, like I heard some noise in it. I dug my hand into the oil and I found some pieces. This is what I found. I don't even know what it is. It feels like plastic. It's not metal besides that one metal piece, that little metal tube that you can see right there, but mostly everything is plastic. It might be from something inside the timing cover because there's nothing else that's plastic besides in there, I'm guessing. I don't know what this is. It has like a honeycomb pattern. It might be something inside the oil pan that broke, like under the sheet metal. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's a big problem. The engine was running fine though, so I guess none of it got into the engine. I don't see none of it up top, but I don't know. Right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off this front timing cover. I'm gonna take off the oil filter and then take off the head and see if there's any more damage. But yeah, I don't know. That's a lot of fucking trash to be in the oil pan. It just gets worse and worse with this car, bro, I swear. All right, let me get started on taking off the rest of that before it gets dark. I found out what broke. I took off the lower timing cover. There's the top part. Everything looks fine inside there. And my theory about the broken plastic was right. All these little plastic pieces came off of this, like, I don't know what it's called, the timing chain guide, I guess you could call it. There's one right here, it's made out of plastic. Damn, you guys can't even see, huh? All right, I had to change the camera settings real quick because the fucking ISO was all fucked up. Here where the timing chain is, you see this, I guess you could call it the plastic, like, timing chain guide, because there's one right here that's a circle, and I guess it just puts tension on this a little bit, or it guides the timing chain. Look at how short this one is. This one is supposed to be as long as this, I'm pretty sure, or longer. But yeah, you can see on the edges it's broke, top and the bottom. So all those little plastic pieces were part of this timing chain guide. I don't know where this came from. This is like a small piece of like aluminum. It looks like something to pick up the oil or something. Some sort of siphon tube. I'm not sure. I'm sure maybe someone in the comments might know what this is, so comment down below if you know what it is. I'm gonna keep looking, see if I see anything like it, but off of here I don't see anything that might match that. But yeah, this is the culprit. It looks like it's pretty easy to replace. It's just this bolt right here comes off and then the new guide goes in. So I'm probably gonna replace this one because that means this plastic is probably brittle as well. That's honestly why my car was probably running like shit. It was probably skipping teeth and that's why it was running like shit. I don't know if you guys could see, but that's top dead center on both of them and they're not lined up. So I don't know if my timing on the car is off. I'm gonna get started on removing the head and then it's gonna leave the bare block. Let's get started on that. I did a little research on this and I'm pretty sure my timing on this car is all fucked up. What I'm gonna do right now is, since I'm pretty sure the timing's fucked up on it, or actually it might not be that fucked up to be honest. All right, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna remove this tension right here. All you gotta do is just take out these two bolts and then this slides out and it'll relieve the tension on this. I had to take out these two cam bolts. And then with these bolts out, you should be able to remove the whole timing chain with the sprockets out. Let's get started on that. I got this front timing chain off. I don't think it's a timing chain, it's like the idle something chain. Yeah, I got this chain off. I got the camshaft bolts out. They're right here in this bag, along with the chain tensioners. And I got everything over here. I'm pretty sure this isn't how you're supposed to zip tie it, but in my head, this works somehow. So I have those zip tied. I'm pretty sure the timing was off either way. I think it was skipping teeth, so I don't think it matters, but I just did it just in case. So the chain's off. Now, all that's left to get it to the bare block is I gotta remove this head. Let's work on that. All right, little update. I'm kind of fucked. I said I was gonna try and remove the head. I'm an idiot. I thought that it was just like you pry it off because I could have swore that people just slip the head on, and they do, but there's bolts, of course. I'm a fucking idiot. I didn't think about that. And this timing chain is gonna have to be removed as well because I can't remove the head with this chain on, so I still need to remove the chain. I'm also gonna have to remove each cam, and I'm gonna have to reach those. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's some 10mm Allen's in there. I have to remove the camshafts and then I have to remove those head bolts. I think they're called literal head bolts. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think there's 10 head bolts inside the head. So I need to remove the cams, remove those head bolts, remove this timing chain, and then the head should just slip off. I'm pretty sure that's it. but I'm running out of time today. It's already like 3 p.m. Oh shit, I gotta open my website, I forgot. I got a lot of things to do today that's like not related to this car with my brand and stuff. So what I'm gonna do is right now, I'm gonna just clean up and I'm gonna wrap the engine in the stretch wrap just to make sure that no moisture and shit gets inside the engine, and then we should be good. So yeah, I'm gonna just clean up, wrap the engine, and then I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Later. Helicopter, helicopter. We back. It's 2 days later, I think. We back. I got all my tools ready. I gotta pull the engine out, and today we're gonna start disassembling the head. Today we're gonna get it off and see what I got to work with. Let me pull the engine out real quick. Got the engine already, still wrapped up from last time. I haven't touched it since the last time you guys saw it, which was like 2 days ago. I'm gonna take all this plastic off and get started on removing the entire head and all the internals. Then there's a lot of surface rust. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I gotta polish these camshafts, make sure to get all that surface rust out of there. Engine's all opened up, all the wrap is off. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna try and take out this timing chain. I just gotta remove this tensioner probably, or fuck with it, and relieve the tension on this, so that then the tension gets relieved on the chain and I'll be able to slip it off. After the chain cover, that's when we're gonna start disassembling everything inside the head, like removing the cams, taking off the head studs, and then the head should be able to come off. So let's get started on that. I took the tensioner off. All I did was take out those bolts, but be careful because when you take it off, the little like shim or bucket that it has inside is gonna like shoot out. So once you unbolt these, this little piece is gonna wanna fly out, so make sure you don't lose that. But yeah, the tensioner's out. Now the chain has hella slack. Now I'm gonna remove this bolt to be able to remove this sprocket a bit, take it out so that then I could slip the chain off. I got the main timing gear and chain removed. Everything on the front's done. Now all that's left is I gotta remove these camshafts. So the way that I'm gonna remove them is you can actually see the letters on each of these like rod bearing journals. So it says E. E means exhaust side of the engine, and I means intake side of the engine, which is on that side. As you can see, it's labeled. It says I, I2, I3, I4, I5, and I6, and then same thing for this side, E, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6. You want to make sure you put these back in the exact same way. And to remove them, you need to remove from the inside out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove each one by one. I'm gonna just work my way out and just try and remove the whole camshaft as evenly as possible. Basically, you don't want to remove this side and then this and then this, because then the camshaft is gonna be taken out unevenly or something. I don't know, but that's what everyone says to do, so I'm gonna just do that. I'm gonna just try and take out both sides as evenly as possible, and I'm gonna make sure that when I put these back, I put them how they're supposed to go. E, E2, E3, E4, etc. So yeah, I'll check back in once I remove these camshafts. Removed all of these journals that hold the cam in on this side. All the bolts are loose. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take these off. I'm gonna just put them in the bag. I don't think the screws matter. They're not numbered or anything, so I'm pretty sure it's the same bolt for all of them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put all the bolts in one bag. When I reassemble everything, I'm gonna just make sure that I follow the pattern, like I, I2, I3, I4, I5, I6. So let's get this intake cam out. All right, I got the cam out. All of these buckets and shims are at the very top because the spring is pushing it up because it doesn't have the cam anymore to hold it down. So all these are good. They look pretty good. None of them are wobbly or anything. So that's good. I have all of these right here on their own little paper rag, and I have the cam right there. I'm gonna wrap them up like this and put them all in a Ziploc bag. I just didn't want to throw them into a Ziploc bag like this because I didn't want like the bottom to get scratched up or anything. So I'm gonna put these in a Ziploc bag. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this camshaft. I'm gonna just try and protect it, make sure it doesn't get dirty or anything. I mean, it's out of the car, so I'm pretty sure I could wash it and everything. I'm gonna have to reassemble the engine either way. So I'm gonna put all these in a Ziploc bag so I don't lose them, and put this somewhere. And now I'm gonna get started on taking off this other side. Little update, check it out. We got both cams out of the head. Now all that's left to remove this head, literally the last thing before this head is able to slip off, is, I don't know how well you guys can see this, but in between all these buckets and shims, there's a bunch of head bolts right there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 10 head bolts inside of here,
and it looks like it's a big Allen key, so hopefully I have the right key to be able to remove these. But you want to remove these the same way that you remove the camshaft from the outside in. You just want to remove the entire head as evenly as possible. So yeah, I'm gonna just get started on removing these head bolts, and then that should be the last thing holding the head in. And yeah, that should be it. So after I remove those bolts, I'll check back in and hopefully the head slips off.
That was the most nerve-wracking shit I've done on this car so far. Check it out.
The head bolts are 10mm Allen key, but I don't have a 10mm Allen key. All I have is this 3/8 Allen key, and it's for a 3/8 socket. So I put an adapter on it to fit it onto my 1/2" socket, and I was using my 1/2" socket plus this to break these loose. I'm pretty sure you lose some torque once you start putting attachments, but I don't know if the last owner or whoever fucking replaced the head gasket last over torqued the shit out of these, but these were fucking ridiculously hard to take off. I really doubt that they were torqued to spec. I'm pretty sure they were over torqued because they were so hard to take off. I was forced to take some of the bolts out already, even though I didn't want to, because this Allen key kept getting stuck to the bolt. I don't have a 10mm, so I don't know if that's maybe why as well, if I was losing torque because of that. But the 3/8 Allen key is the closest thing I had to a 10mm, and it worked, but it was so sketchy. I was so scared to strip a bolt.
But these bolts are like stupid reinforced. Like, I don't know what they're made out of. Fucking stainless steel probably. They feel like my impact sockets, like the same metal. But you can see, I don't know if you guys can see, but we're good. It didn't like strip it at all. I was just scared.
I broke all the bolts loose. I had to take out 2 because the Allen key got stuck in them. So right now I'm gonna just go in the same pattern. I'm gonna remove, all of them are broken loose, so I'm gonna remove these, then these, then these, and then the middle ones. And then once all the head bolts are off, the head should be ready to slip off. All the head bolts are off.
They're all right here. There's 10 of them.
Literally, the head should be ready to slip off, no problem. Hopefully.
So yeah, let's get the head off.
We're so close to being able to do what I want to accomplish today. So hopefully I can get it done today, but I'm not sure. But let's get this head off first.
I look like a little homeless kid, bro. All right, I finally took off the head. It's not looking so good. Let me show you guys how the head looks.
All right, so here's the head. The top of it looks pretty good.
The carbon buildup inside the actual head isn't that bad. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna label these the same. I'm gonna label them like intake and exhaust. And I'm gonna just put E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, E7, E8, and on the other side, just so I know how they go back, because I know those matter how they go back. I'm gonna put each assembly in their own bags. The bucket, the shim, the valve guide, the valve, and the springs. I'm gonna put everything inside their own separate bags so I know how they go. Let me show you guys how the bottom of this head looks. If you flip it over, I don't even know if you guys can see, but yeah, it's not terrible. I mean, it's a 30-year-old engine, so you can't really expect much, but the bottom of it is really burnt. That means the car was running really rich, and yeah, it's just fucked up. So I'm gonna just go ahead and try and get this entire head ported and polished and make it look brand new. I know you can port and polish it and open up the ports and shit, but I'm gonna just try and keep the material removal to a minimum. I just want it to look nice and shiny inside so that when I put everything back together, everything flows nice and smooth and there's no carbon buildup inside of the motor head. But yeah, there's the head. Now let me show you guys the block.
The block is really fucking disgusting. I don't even know, you guys can't really see that good, but yeah, let me try and raise this up slowly. There's no oil inside of these, so I don't really want to move the pistons too much, but let me fuck with the camera settings and see if you guys can see the inside a little bit better.
All right, there's the first piston. Here's the second cylinder. It's not that bad. The walls on all these are pretty good.
I can't really check them until I push the piston all the way to the bottom so I can check the entire wall. But from what I'm seeing so far, it looks pretty good. There's the third cylinder, and here's the fourth cylinder. So they're not terrible, they're just really dirty. The car was running really rich for God knows how long. Right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off this head gasket, and then I'm gonna start scuffing up the entire engine. I'm gonna take off this oil filter like housing thing, scuff everything up, clean it up, and then mask everything off, and then this block should be ready for primer. Hopefully I could primer, paint it, and clear coat it today, but I'm not sure. The painting process is pretty quick, so the preparation process is what takes the most. I'm pretty sure with some brake cleaner I should be good, but yeah, let's get started on that. gasket surface all scraped up. I still gotta hit it with some brake cleaner. I'm not gonna spray the brake cleaner on it, of course. I'm gonna spray it on the rag and then just clean it. So that's gotta be cleaned up, but it's all scraped. Right now I took off all the timing components. I took off the timing chain guide and all that shit. So all that's right there. Now it's literally just the bare block. Crankshaft is still in there. I'm not gonna remove this. I'm gonna just leave it in there for now. I might remove it later, but to paint the block, I'm gonna just leave it in. So right now I'm gonna just clean this gasket surface as well, and I'll check back in after. The whole front of the motor is already all nice and scraped. Not clean with brake clean yet, but it's all nice and scraped. Right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the whole engine, I'm gonna flip it on the engine stand, and I'm gonna clean all the RTV like gasket maker for the oil pan. So once that's clean, I'm gonna just go over all the gasket surfaces again and clean it with some brake clean and just make sure they're nice and clean. And I'm gonna just mask them off with some tape, and then the block will be ready to start being prepped and painted. I forgot there's still coolant inside the motor. When I flipped over the block, I got some fucking 20-year-old coolant on me. My pants are soaked now. Let's get started on removing this entire gasket. Whoever put the oil pan last does not know how to use RTV, bro. Look at this shit. It's fucking disgusting. All right, I'm gonna turn on the vacuum and start scraping that. Alright, I finally took off all the gasket. I scraped everything with a blade. That shit took way longer than what it should have, especially this part. The front timing chain area and the top like piston area, that was really easy to scrape off. The oil pan was kind of a bitch, but it was whatever. The oil filter housing like area, oh my goodness, that shit was the worst fucking experience ever. As you can see, I didn't even take all of it off. It had like a paper gasket on it or something, but it was like cooked on there and it did not want to remove off. So I just removed it to the point where it's nice and smooth. I'm gonna put some RTV on this when I make it either way. So that should be fine for now. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go through all the gasket surfaces. I'm gonna clean it with the rag that's wet with brake clean, just so that I could put some tape over it, and I'm gonna mask off all the areas where I don't want the primer to hit. And then I'm gonna start sanding the block. So I'll check back in a bit. I got the oil filter housing gasket messed up, ready for paint, and I got the oil pan ready for paint. So I just put a lot of tape and I cut off the edges, so it should leave a pretty nice like primer mark. All that's left is the top like piston area and the front timing area, and then the whole block should be ready to be scuffed up real quick and primered. I'll check in a bit when it's ready for primer. Damn, this shit came out clean as fuck. Stop playing with me. I just put the duct tape over, and then you just pull the edges and you get a blade and you just line it up real quick. All that's left is the front, and it should be ready to start scuffing. Damn, I'm so tired, bro. The engine's all messed up. Let me show you guys what's next. The engine is all messed up, oil filter housing, everything on the oil pan is all nice and sealed up. Everything on the front is nice and covered. Everything on the top is nice and covered. I'm gonna wrap something around this cap right here because I'm gonna scuff up this dipstick and paint that as well. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty good. Real quick, I'm gonna just mask these off real quick. I'm gonna just put a piece of little tape over the holes right here, just so that I don't get any like paint, primer, clear coat onto any of these threads, because then there might be problems rethreading shit. So I'm gonna just cap those off, anything with threads, and then that's pretty much it. I'm gonna move the engine over here and I'm gonna just start scuffing it, and I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna just give it like a really quick scuffing. Like, I know when I painted the engine bay, I had to like really sit there and sand it like really good, but with this I already cleaned it. It's really clean. I'm gonna just literally give it like a really light scuff, clean it with brake cleaner, and then ready for primer. So I'll check back in a bit. Bro, it is so hot. I should not be out here working on this fucking engine. I got it all masked up, ready to prep. Check it out. All right, so quick tip. I thought about this right now. I'm pretty sure someone else has done it before me though. At first I was just gonna mask over these and then just cut off the circle or the
the surface area, but it was hella rusted. So what I did is I went over the surfaces with 220 to get some of the surface rust off. Not all of it came off, but these were like literally brown. And then I just went in and I folded up some tape and I put it inside just to cover the threads, so they don't get paint, primer, and clear coat, so that they won't get that fucked up. That's pretty much it. Now all that's left is I'm gonna go through the entire engine and I'm gonna just scuff it up with some Scotch-Brite real quick, and literally just scuff it up like really quick. All right, I'm literally gonna get the Scotch-Brite and I'm literally just gonna scuff everything real quick, just like that. It should take like 20 minutes, 30 minutes to go around the entire engine. I'll scuff everything and then just clean the whole engine with some brake cleaner. I got like 2 cans, hopefully that's enough. Just spray it down with some brake cleaner, let it dry, and then it should be ready for primer. I'm gonna time lapse the sanding because it's boring, but I'll be back when the engine is ready for primer. I'm gonna try and give it the first coat of primer today at least. I literally look like a homeless kid. The engine is fully prepped, fully sanded, fully scuffed, and I already hit it with brake cleaner. It literally should be ready for paint. Check it out. Everything's all masked up. Everything's already all scuffed up. I already hit everything with brake cleaner. It's pretty clean already. There's no more dust on it. And yeah, it should be ready for fucking paint. I'll check back in a bit.
I don't understand why you're thinking of. You had me at alone. I don't understand why you're thinking of.
This is the primer I'm gonna use. It says it's made for engines or high temp, so hopefully it works. This is what I see everyone else use, so yeah, just give it a nice good shake and we're gonna start laying it down. I'm gonna do 3 coats of primer. I'm gonna do 2 very light ones, and then the 3rd coat is gonna be a little bit more wet, and then I'm gonna let it dry for 10 minutes in between each coat, and then after the final coat, I'm gonna let it dry 30 minutes before I apply the base color. So yeah, I can't wait to show you guys what color I picked for this engine. First coat is done, check it out. It already looks so much better. Spray paint lays such a wet coat. What the fuck are these bugs doing? That spray can lays such a wet coat, so there, it's pretty good. The first coat is done. It already looks a lot better. I'm gonna let it dry for 10 minutes and then give it a 2nd coat, let it dry for another 10 minutes, and then give it a but give it a wetter coat, and that'll be the last coat, and then I'm gonna wait 30 minutes before I lay the final paint. Edgar and Andrew shot through. I finished the 3rd coat of primer on the block. That shit looks so much better. It looks like a remanufactured engine. It looks so fucking clean. All right, check out the fucking motor. It looks so good, bro. Like, damn. So this is the 3rd coat. Like, I gave it the 2nd coat already, and this is the 3rd, like, kind of like wetter coat. And that's all I'm gonna give it. Right now, I'm gonna give it the first coat of paint in like 10-15 minutes because it's been like 10 minutes already. Hopefully by today, I give it the 3rd coat of paint and it's done. And the clear coat, to be honest. But probably the sun's gonna set. I'm gonna set up my light and just continue fucking painting it. This is gonna be it for today's video. I'm not gonna show you guys what the block looks like when it's painted because it's gonna take too fucking long. I don't wanna fucking record all night. It's gonna take me even longer. Comment down below, tell me what color you guys think is gonna be. First person that gets it right gets a kiss from that boy right there.
I better be ready.
Alright, I'll see you guys next video. Comment down below what color you guys think is gonna be, and let me know how you guys think the block turned out. Yeah, I can't wait to see it painted. See you guys next time. Later.